Hey guys, your Bear Boy host Hito here. Um, I wanted to talk about something serious, and probably the title of this video will got you thinking a little bit. But yeah, we're talking about the future of the retrograde and what might be happening with the podcast. So it's a rough thing to talk about. So I'm going to go into this unedited and unfiltered. No crazy edits, no jumps, no nothing, unless I absolutely need to. But yeah, I need to talk about this because this has been going on my mind since I started season 3 of the Retrograde, and it's been hard for me to continue doing this podcast. So I went into season 3 a little bit excited about some of the newer topics we're going to go to. We were also going to revisit some of the older topics that didn't get to make the cut on my YouTube videos season 1. So that was something I was looking forward to. Um, we have a lot of situations where things are driving us crazy. This year has been specifically very difficult for me as a content creator, as I'm trying to find my footing again and trying to get into things again since I started working last year. And things have been crazy. I've been on an emotional roller coaster when it comes to content creation, and to the point where I need like editing help, which is why I'm trying to see if I could get a new editor recently. Um, there's been a lot of situations going on this month that has been very crazy for me, along with things that happen with my work personally, which I'm not going to get into. Um, so on to the retrograde. This year has been probably one of the hardest years for me to find guests and friends that want to join in. Mostly friends that want to join in. It's been difficult. As easy as it seems, it's not as easy as it seems. It's not as easy as it seems. And it's because of the fact that everyone's always busy. Everyone has a life. Everyone has a schedule. It's not really a bad thing. At the end of the day, that's to be expected. It's human life. But specifically this year has been tough on me because I've been getting a lot of backlash lately for adding friends to the podcast itself and new people to the podcast itself. I've been getting backlash that I'm using people for their presence, or that I'm using them for their race, or that I'm using them because whatever reason they could possibly think of because it's a Tuesday. I don't know. But I want to make this fair and clear to anyone that has been watching my shows and who has also participated in my podcast before. I have not once denied a guest because of viewership, because of race, or additive of their race, or anything of the matter. Anyone has been open to joining me on the podcast and have always been open to join regardless. I ask a few people beforehand if they want to join the episode because I know something it might be under their interest, but that's about it. And then I usually leave it for opening. So let me talk about the process of the retrograde itself before we go into anything. So the process of the retrograde itself is I come up with the idea for the ideas for that month. I literally spread them out each month. The retrograde is done in 4 months: May, June, July, August, and that is usually how I run my podcast through those days. And on a usual basis, it's always been on a Tuesday because Tuesday's been kind of like the collab day for me, at least when it comes down to it. So I always do it on a Tuesday. Season 1, we had them at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that was when we were still in the midst of the pandemic Lovato, which is fine. We had them from, you know what I mean. I don't want to say the word. Whatever. Certain person got that one stuck in my head. But yeah. During COVID, we had it from 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that was fine at the time. But then roll around last year, people are coming in later. People are dealing with things later. COVID's starting to slowly like phase out a little bit. Regulations are starting to loosen the chains a little bit. And I had to put it for a later time, later viewing time, which will be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. And that's where we stick to our schedule now, which is now season 2 and season 3 has been done at night now, instead of the morning like it usually was, or afternoon if you want to be specific. So that's the process of everything that goes into play, at least when it comes to time wise. For those 4 months, I'm usually rallying up people who at first would have interest. And usually I go to good friends about this because, you know, I have a lot of good friends that actually have a lot of interest. We've talked, we've spoken, we've had our interests talk on a majority of cases. And I'm like, hey, you talked about your interest in this. Would you want to join me on a couch talk, basically, for this specific title of the week? Which is something that, you know, like, I would love to do. I spoke to the person enough to understand what they like and enjoy and their interests, and I would ask them first because, you know, I feel comfortable talking to somebody who either, one, I've known for a long time, or two, I was getting to know a lot better. And so I would throw the suggestion out there if they would want to join me for that. If it's a no, it's a no. If it's a yes, it's a yes. And we get ready for everything. And if the last minute changes happen, I've already like prepared for this thing. Like, mind you, it's a lot of prepping beforehand. So with that being said, I've always done that situation when it comes to last minute changes or things that happen. And I think anybody who has worked with me on any of these episodes can attest to that. So that's where we're going to start on the situation of now the accusations being thrown at me, which is I use people for presence. I use people for their race. I use people for whatever other reason we could go on. I've never once judged anybody for viewership or race. I want to make that 100% clear. If your viewership is 1 or 100, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, your voice is still being heard. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear what you have to say on the subject, especially since I found you very interesting enough to actually have these conversations, and I befriended you because we've had these conversations and connections. That is where the line is right there. That is all it takes. You do not have to be a partner. You don't have to be an affiliate. You don't even have to be on Twitch for that matter. All right? Like, legitimately this year, I have one friend who I connected with through TikTok that joined me on here. I had another friend I had many friends I connected through Discord. And I was like, oh, I want to hear your interaction. I even have friends on Twitter that I spoke to and brought them in. And they're not content creators, by the way. Some of them are not even content creators. So this whole I'm using people for presence thing, I need that immediately removed because, you know what? At the end of the day, I don't give a shit about presence or viewership. I care about, hey, I got to know you. I have interest in what you have to say. I have interest in your voice. I have interest in you sharing this out. And if you're comfortable with it, please join the podcast. That's all there is to it. That it's simple as that. The second accusation, which is a very much charged and triggered conversation, may want to step away from this situation because someone accused me of using them for their race recently. Not recently, last month, that I wanted to use them because of their race. And that a white person like me, quote unquote, a white person like me shouldn't be doing that. So, not only was I accused of using someone's race, but I was also disrespected too a little bit because at the end of the day, for those of you who don't know, I'm full-blooded Hispanic. I'm full-blooded Hispanic. I don't look it because of my skin color, but I'm full-blooded Hispanic. I'm Latino. I speak a little Spanish, but nothing too crazy. I'm still learning my Spanish. Even being 30 years old right now, I'm still learning my Spanish. But this person automatically assumed I was white and then said I was trying to use them for race. but they didn't even bother to like ask me what mine was or even knew that I was Hispanic. And this person of color was basically accusing me of, oh, you're using people for race because you need that whole entire thing on your channel, and I feel appalled that you would dare ask me this. I'm like, are you kidding me? So they literally threw the whole thing of like, you're white and you're using this person for race, you're doing this and yada yada yada. I blocked them. I absolutely blocked them. That was very uncalled for, and it was beyond my mental state at that point. So, yeah, I was not okay with that situation either. I was absolutely pissed off, and it's just been like, it's been ringing in my head since I started this season that if I wanted to stop, because here's the issue. I took a little vacation before I started this season. I took a little vacation before this season. And I was already not feeling too great because I was also setting up projects for things like this gym of mine. And I was also setting up a draft lock in the future after this was done. And then I also remembered I had to get the season started for the Retrogade this time around. And I still, mind you, I had the plans already set, so I wasn't too worried if I forgot about it. I still had everything listed in my notebook, like, oh, let's get this season started. These were the topics, and this was going on. I plan out my things. So that's why I asked within a month or within a few weeks before these situations happen and before podcast episodes get released, because, again, I'm working towards everything. And I'm also releasing last year's episodes on the YouTube channel. So I have content for the YouTube channel still. Now, I work very hard as a content creator. I don't try to use people. I don't try to jimmy anyone. I just want to have fun collaborations. That was the whole point of me doing this podcast, especially when I first started it, which was having couch talks with friends, with people I'm getting to know, with people I want to get to know about a topic at hand or a topic that we're talking about or something that we were getting comfortable talking about. These were things that I wanted to do as a content creator so I can collab with people. It was never for the sake of getting views or getting new people in my channel or doing that, because at the end of the day, I can't control what people do. If you choose to follow my channel because you enjoyed my stuff, great. If you chose to like or comment or subscribe, that was your choice. I can't control that. I can only continue as a content creator to make the work that I do, and that is it. And some people get lucky enough to have somebody like their stuff and then push them all the way, or some people just remain stagnant. It happens. It's a thing. But do they deserve all the mental stress of other content creators accusing them or throwing things in their face or disrespecting them or going behind their back even? Because, yeah, I've been hearing some stories. Again, I'm not going to get into it. But it's been frustrating, especially this year doing the podcast. Something I love doing. Something I loved doing a lot. This year was specifically very stressful because of accusations, time constraints, getting things done, getting things settled, making sure I have enough guests to join into things, which, by the way, emergency protocols, if I don't have a guest for a certain subject, I just take that week off. This whole season, I have not taken a week off from the podcast due to no guest, which is great. It's absolutely fantastic that's a thing. I didn't have to take a single break this time around. Seasons 1 and 2, I've had at least 1 week where nobody showed up, so I kind of just took the day off and did my thing, which is okay. Again, I usually have backup plans. I write all my stuff down in my notebook. I have like multiple leather-bound notebooks that I literally was given to. I write all my things down. What to do if this plan doesn't go through? What to do if this podcast doesn't go through? What to get things done from here? Etc., etc. Like, I have things that I can help with. I have things that, settle on the situation. I have things that I could also be doing as well. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy doing the podcast, but I'm saying like I always have a backup plan just in case the podcast doesn't go as planned that week. That's always been the situation. That's always been the case. So when people come down and start accusing me and adding more mental stress to me for things that I've never done, honestly, it gets harder. And especially from those you expected friendship from, or not even expected friendship from. Let's rephrase that. Those you considered a friend, those you have considered to have your back, those who have told you that they've had your back, but then will do stuff like this to you. I want to make this clear to the person that accused me of their presence, of me using their presence. They've ignored me on messages, and I've literally made many strides to show that I've always been a friend there, even going to their Discord server, chatting with them, playing games with them off stream, etc. And to the person that accused me of race, I literally held your hand through a breakup. Like, I don't get it. I don't get what's going on. I don't know if it's the fact that they're starting to be somewhat successful, or they're starting to see like great strides in their work and now they're just trying to trim the fat, or I don't know. I'm happy for them to be successful and shit like that, and I wish them nothing but the best, but are you going to treat people like this for no reason? Did I absolutely deserve that? Did I absolutely deserve to be knocked down a peg for just asking if you wanted to join something? A simple no would have been more than sufficient. I've had people tell me no, and I've been like, okay, cool. I'm not going to bother you about this. And I still look at them. I still watch their stuff. I still do the things with them. And I still, wish them all of the best. I'm just tired of the fact that I'm putting in so much work. I'm putting in so much effort. I'm doing everything I possibly could to basically keep things running consistently just to get shitted on. And I don't like to feel like I'm being shitted on. This year has definitely been that feeling that I've been going through, and I'm not even sure I want to continue the podcast anymore because of these things. I don't want to be accused anymore of trying to use people for their presence or their race. I don't want to put mental strain on people thinking that they have to do this or that. I don't want to potentially lose any more creator friends who think this way too, who are probably going through the anxious time of their life because they're succeeding or they're doing great things, and they think that I'm trying to use them at their behest, even though I've had their back since the get-go, before that even happened. It is very difficult for me to continue something that's collaborative when you don't feel at this point that you deserve to be collaborative with these people, or now they're making you feel like you don't deserve to even speak to them, that they're higher than you, that they're above you, or that they view themselves to be so above you that they think that you're going to go out and hurt them immediately. I know, it's not an easy thing to be a content creator, especially when you're succeeding and you don't know who's your friends and who's just there to ride your coattails. I understand that better than anyone. I've seen it happen to very close friends of mine who, again, I've had their backs on that situation when they needed someone to talk to. I don't know anymore. I don't know if I want to continue the podcast anymore because of that reason. I can't fathom feeling that pain anymore, where you've had many people's backs and they turn on you the minute that they get a lick of success because they think that you're trying to use them, even though you've been there from the beginning. And even though we don't talk much, and there's a lot of us to do, there's a lot of mitigation, we've all been busy, I still had their back. I'm at the point where I don't want to continue doing the podcast anymore or doing any type of collaboration anymore, because I don't want people to feel like I'm using, because if this is how it's going to go down, if people are going to keep feeling like I'm trying to use them, even though technically speaking, I just want to have fun on a collaborative project, then I'll just stick to doing my thing solo. I won't do the podcast anymore. There probably won't be a season 4. There probably won't be an ongoing thing. I'm tired. I'm absolutely tired. I'm exhausted. I don't want to put up with these things anymore. I don't want to keep putting up with these nasty feelings anymore in me. And I'm still going to have these feelings regardless because of the pain that's there. But I don't know what else to do to stop feeling this way. So this is the update on the Retrogade. I'm hoping with everything that's going on, the final episode we have for season 3 that's coming up, I'm looking forward to, and then the finale itself, and then that'll probably be it. But who knows? I don't know what to do from here. And you know what? Honestly, if anyone has anything they want to say to me in DMs or talk to me or even commenting on this video, I'm leaving comments open here, and we'll hopefully see how things go. But for now, this is Hito Retro Gaming giving you guys the 8-bit love. Bye. Have a wonderful time. And yeah, have a good one.